I have never seen Xbox be this confident in my entire life. I mean, after that showing that PlayStation 5 just had where they showed some amazing exclusive games, along with their brand new PS5 console, most people would have understood for Xbox to keep quiet a little bit and build up their own July event where they'll show us all their first party games. But no, we didn't get that from Xbox. Instead, they honed in on specific flaws from the PlayStation event and hit home why they feel Xbox Series X is going to be the best place to play your games. And they didn't just bring up the things that the PS5 might be missing, they also talked about games that were shown on Sony's own stage. They talked about how those games will be on the Xbox and will run better. This isn't some random Xbox employee talking either. It's high-level executives showing the public what exactly they're trying to aim for, but also highlighting a lot of the missteps the PlayStation 5 could potentially have. This is a true response to the next-generation PlayStation 5 by the main competition in Xbox. And to be honest, I love the response they had because it shows a confidence we've never seen before in Xbox. And it's something I brought up multiple times in other videos and podcasts. But I always felt they wouldn't continue this or would slow down a little bit as Sony showed more of their games and features. Well, I was wrong because so far they haven't kept quiet and they are always front and center talking about the most powerful console next generation, the Xbox Series X. So let's get into what was said and talk about what we can expect from the Xbox side of this generation. But like always, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. Alright, so first off, I want to say I think that Sony had a pretty decent show when they finally unveiled the PS5. Did I think a lot of the show was filled with games I didn't really care about? Sure. But overall, I was excited about the new Spider-Man Miles Morales game, along with Ratchet & Clank, and of course the main event, Horizon 2. But as the show went on, they kept showing third-party after third-party game, and I couldn't help but notice I would much rather play these games on the Xbox console because I'm tied to that ecosystem. But also, these games will look and play better on the most powerful console in the world, and that's something that Xbox didn't hide after the show was over. They didn't stay quiet and allow Sony to have their moment. Instead, they came out swinging. Here's what was said by Aaron Greenberg, one of the top executives on the Xbox team. Congrats to our friends at Sony on their show today. Xbox fans should know titles like GTA 5, Resident Evil Village, Hitman 3, NBA 2K21, Pragmata, etc. are going to look and play great on Xbox Series X, the world's most powerful console. Hashtag power your dreams, hashtag X gon' give it to ya. I mean, when was the last time Xbox came out after a Sony show and talked up their own console? Scratch that. When was the last time an Xbox executive congratulated Sony for having a great show, but with the same breath, they backhand commented how the games will perform better on the Xbox Series X? I honestly was extremely surprised to see this come out from the Xbox camp because for the longest time, they always were very cordial or positive to the competition. They would never say something about the Xbox platform when Sony was shining bright with a PlayStation announcement. Instead, Xbox would say positive things about the PlayStation and not counter them at all. But now, with Xbox knowing they're about to release the most powerful console in the world, they aren't hiding behind anything. And they don't seem afraid of the competition at all. This is something I feel was almost unheard of just 2 or 3 years ago, where Xbox didn't have anything to be proud of or couldn't be confident about. I think that narrative has changed and Xbox feels far more confident in what they're doing. Yet coming at Sony because they have the power narrative is great, and it's awesome to see from competing companies. There's still one thing I saw from Xbox that truly set themselves apart from Sony, which is the back compat announcement and the lack of back compat talk from Sony themselves. I say that because most of the games that were shown at the PlayStation show were PS5 games and not PS4 games, including what is most likely a standalone DLC type game in Spider-Man Miles Morales. Sony seems to be doubling down on the generation narrative they were talking about last year. I never had the illusion that Sony would go back on their word when they said they believe in a traditional generation. That to me means they want to force people to buy a PS5, and they will be doing that with their first party games. Instead of people being able to use their PS4 Pro or their PS4s on some of these launch titles, we will be forced to buy a PS5 to play these games I think would benefit from releasing on the PS4. Now, I could be wrong, and they could release on the PS4, and the marketing strategy they used during the show was to promote the PS5 a lot more, or this could be something that we all have to stomach and buy a PS5 to play a lot of these games. And they even made the third-party games look exclusive to the PS5, like it wasn't coming to Xbox. And I think that's why Aaron Greenberg came out right away and talked about these games coming to Xbox and also saying they're going to be on the most powerful console. And again, this is something that Xbox saw and decided to take advantage of because they invested a lot of money in programming and in making the consoles extremely compatible. Here's what Aaron Greenberg had to say after the Sony show was over. Xbox fans should know that all our studio titles, like Halo Infinite, include smart delivery, so not only can you play on your Xbox this holiday, whenever you decide to upgrade to the Xbox Series X, your games go with you, including all fully optimized games for free. Hashtag players first. Now, I know that last tweet I read earlier in the video was a direct jab at Sony in regards to the power narrative, but this to me is the biggest swinging hit that Xbox threw because it shows that they respect all the purchases we have done all generation. Not to mention, we all know that the first-party developers at Xbox are going to develop games for the Xbox Series X along with the Xbox One consoles we all have. This to me is the greatest thing for your fan base because it gives us the option to either play the new games on our current consoles, but also gives us incentive to buy an Xbox Series X because we know those games will be upgraded for free. I mean, not only do they hone in on the missteps from Sony with these tweets, but Xbox also says hashtag players first. Talk about a backhand comment that has a lot of truth attached to it. I say that because Sony hasn't talked about back compat at all for the most part, and they never have confirmed that upgraded versions of their first party and other games will be free for us, which makes me feel a little weird upgrading to the PS5. Instead of being confident I'll get all these games I bought on the PS4 come with me to the PS5, I feel weird knowing some of my games won't even transfer to the PS5. And to top it off, knowing that these games won't get upgraded for free, it's something I think Sony is avoiding, and it's something I think they need to address because Xbox is taking full advantage of that misstep. And maybe there's a reason Xbox is so confident in this amazing feature. Maybe it's because they know the competition can't compete in this part of gaming. You know, the one that they give features that they put a lot of money and invested in the back end of their infrastructure. It's as if they know Sony won't be doing the same amazing thing as Xbox. That to me is a huge mistake because I feel like Sony could have had something extremely special if they just had the same games come on over to the next generation. Instead, they're forcing a lot of people to buy a PS5 for some of these games I think could run on the PS4, especially the new Spider-Man Miles Morales game, which I think they used a lot of the same assets that were used on the PS4's Spider-Man game. Either way, it's something I think Sony needs to talk about soon, or it could damage their marketing push when they get ready to launch the PS5 later this year. But I know a lot of people will say, well, I buy a new console to play a new game, and I want my developers to use the full power of the console. And I agree, I want the same thing, and it's something that Xbox is committed to. I mean, they said themselves, Xbox believes in generations, and that they want to use the full next generation hardware. Here's what was said in May by the same executive. Xbox believes in generations of games that play on latest hardware, taking advantage of next-gen innovations, offering more choice, value, and variety than any console launch ever. All our studio titles launch into Game Pass, and you get those next-gen games upgrades for free. You see, this is what draws me to the Xbox Series X and the Xbox ecosystem in general. They don't want to milk every single cent out of their customers. They don't want to force us to buy a piece of hardware to play all their games. Instead, you can use your Xbox One X for a year or two and play all the new games they have. Or you could play them on your PC and get an amazing experience there. But most importantly, you're given the option to buy an Xbox Series X and get the best performance on any console around. That to me is the biggest draw to the Xbox, the fact they respect every single person that bought an Xbox product. If you bought an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X, you could stick with that console and play Halo Infinite. If you bought an Xbox Series X, you could play Halo Infinite along with other amazing games at the best possible quality. It's a win-win for everyone that invests in the Xbox ecosystem. You are never left jaded or uncomfortable for buying one of their products. And to be honest, that's something I think Sony is lacking when they're marketing their new PlayStation 5 console. It's that they seem to want people to forget about the PS4 and just concentrate on the PS5 and have people buy it to play their games. And I understand the strategy, but maybe 2 or 3 years into a generation, but not at the beginning where you have over 100 million people with the PS4. It's just awesome to see Xbox tell their fans that they respect the time and money they invested into Xbox. Let's hope this continues and we continue to get awesome features like the Xbox Series X is promising to give us. Hopefully the competition is very strong this time around and Sony is forced to give us some of the same awesome features. Because like always, competition is great for just one person, the gamers. But enough of what I think about all of this. Tell me what you think about all of this. Does it surprise you to see Xbox actually fight back? When was the last time you saw Xbox be this confident? What can Sony do to actually combat the bad narrative surrounding their backwards compatibility? Do you think Sony will allow their games to play on the PS4? Do you like the direction Xbox is taking with their next generation games? When do you think Xbox will make Xbox Series X only games exclusive to that part of the console and the high-end PC forms? Will Sony leave all their PS4 fans behind? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. Right now, I'm playing a lot of Sea of Thieves and a lot of Minecraft Dungeons. I'm enjoying those games immensely. I find them a lot of fun, and I always go back to them because, you know what? I love playing with my friends. But I also have been playing a lot of The Last of Us, the first one. I actually am really enjoying the game. I'm freaking enjoying this game so much. I think that the story is very top-notch, and I'm enjoying the brutal combat that's attached to it. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.